Hey guys, thank you for watching the SlatRock channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And if you've already done so, just make sure that it's still active. Here's your news for July 30, 2019. We're starting with Monday Night Raw today, as it seems this week's show had Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over it. An exciting 3-hour show. This week's edition of the Red Brand closed with a brawl that seemed straight out of the Attitude Era. When Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns collided in the ring, the pair were joined by Drew McIntyre, Cedric Alexander, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and the Usos to close what was truly an epic show. It was Alexander himself who got the spot of the night in the multi-man brawl, as it seems the company is definitely high on the former Cruiserweight and 24/7 champion. Rumors have circulated that it is younger stars like Alexander and Ricochet, a former United States champion in his own right, that Heyman will push as the executive director of Raw, and the ECW magnate certainly gave the WWE's flagship show an extreme feel to it this week. Though plenty of stars got a chance to showcase themselves in the main event, one former champion who didn't was Sheamus, who continues to be missing for several months. On the April 9th edition of SmackDown Live, the Celtic Warrior appeared in tag team action but left his partners during the bout, simply walking away from the ring. Recent rumors have speculated that the former WWE champion is dealing with a spinal injury and concussion, though Sheamus did pop up recently on his YouTube series Celtic Warrior Workouts. A much different-looking Sheamus, he's now ditched the mohawk and has suddenly posted a lot of pictures in a referee shirt, a worrying sign that his time in the ring as a competitor may indeed be over. It's been over a decade since the Irishman joined WWE's main roster, and Sheamus has had an epic career during that time, being one of two men to be Mr. Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, and a Royal Rumble winner. With that said, it's always tough to see a wrestler being forced into retirement against their will, so we're hoping for the best for the Celtic Warrior. Well, last week's Raw reunion was unquestionably a fantastic show, and while the legends delivered in a major way, many fans wanted something extra. Though Stone Cold Steve Austin played host throughout the 3-hour event, fans were quick to point out that the Rattlesnake didn't have any segments with Kevin Owens, despite Austin being a huge fan of the former Universal Champion and Owens himself being a modern-day Stone Cold, sticking it to Shane McMahon. Speaking with Sports Illustrated, Austin had plenty to say about Owens, saying, "This guy can talk a lot of trash, he's great in the ring, and he's using my finisher, but hell, no one is going to be the next Steve Austin." Continuing, Austin spoke about how people shouldn't compare superstars of today to the past, saying, "No one's ever going to be the next Ric Flair, and you're not going to see the next Hulk Hogan or the next Bret Hart either. It just doesn't happen that way. People like to say that because of the similarities, but what we should be saying is, I want this guy to be the next big thing." We get where Austin's coming from, as calling someone the next whatever certainly puts a lot of pressure on today's roster, though the Bionic Redneck didn't really answer the question. Raw Reunion was a long show, so even something as simple as sharing a can of Broken Skull IPA, a hug, or even a firm handshake between Austin and Owens would have been enough. From one Hall of Famer to another now, as KAIT8 in Memphis is reporting that Jerry the King Lawler has filed a wrongful death lawsuit over the death of his son, Brian Christopher. Christopher, who fans will best remember as Too Cool's Grandmaster Sexay, was found hanging in a jail cell on July 19th last year, and the cause of death was ruled as a suicide. However, Lawler is disputing the ruling and has noted that the injuries his son suffered are not consistent with his cause of death. Scratch marks on his neck, for example, imply that Christopher fought against the noose that was used, something that someone who had chosen to end their own life wouldn't do. In addition, Lawler's suit says that staff at the jail put his son in solitary confinement after he was assaulted by another inmate, and though the former Too Cool member had an open wound and suspected concussion, he wasn't given medical care. The suit also claims that Christopher was assessed by the staff to see if he was a suicide risk, but was left in a jail cell with his shoelaces, which are often used by prisoners to take their own life. Lawler has said he wants Sheriff John Doolin to make changes to protect inmates in the future, and we hope the King and his entire family are able to get some closure on this awful time. Back to Raw now, and though Rey Mysterio failed to become the #1 contender for the United States title in this week's Gauntlet match, that wasn't the only bad thing that happened to the master of the 619. On this week's show, Mysterio's mask was torn from his face by Andrade, a highly disrespectful act in the Lucha Libre community who see a mask as part of a person's identity. This isn't the first time Mysterio's been demasked, as he was forced to lose it in WCW, but it's always a shocking thing to see in WWE. The actions by Andrade could very well be setting up for a hair versus mask match down the line, a match that fans thought was going to happen at WrestleMania earlier this year. Obviously, that match didn't happen as Mysterio instead faced Samoa Joe, though the match could take place as soon as SummerSlam if WWE speed up with their story. Sasha Banks news now, as the former Raw Women's Champion continues to be one of WWE's most discussed superstars despite not being seen in months. Last appearing at WrestleMania 35, where she and Bayley lost the women's tag team titles to the Iconics, there have been plenty of rumors of Banks' behavior at the show, though many are hopeful that she will return to WWE after her hiatus. According to Fightful Select, the boss is being listed internally as a heel Raw superstar, and though that doesn't tell us when she'll be back, having Banks as a heel is a huge change. Since her call-up to the main roster, Banks has almost exclusively been a babyface, so to see a mean streak from her could be just what is needed to restart her career. It's clear that Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch is in need of new heels that she hasn't already beaten, so this may explain the boss turning to the dark side, as it seems a return by the former champion gets more likely each and every week. AEW news now, and we'd like to send a huge congratulations to entertainment and wrestling reporter Chris Van Vleet, who is signed with the company. Chris, a 4-time Emmy Award winner, recently worked with the new promotion's YouTube channel for their All Out event, and will officially start working with AEW this October for their very first show on TNT. His YouTube channel, which currently boasts over 70 million views, is expected to continue, so you can expect plenty more from him both in and out of All Elite Wrestling. Back to Raw now, and history was made once again as Maria Kanellis became the 4th woman to win the WWE 24/7 title on this week's show. It was certainly an interesting night for the title, as R-Truth was able to retain the title in the show's opener against Drake Maverick, only to lose the title to Mike Kanellis after the match. Hoping to get congratulated by his pregnant wife, Maria instead demanded that Mike lay down for her to take the pin, as Maria became the 4th female 24/7 champion, as well as the first pregnant champion in WWE history. Her very first title in WWE since her debut in 2004, Maria bragged about her win, telling everyone that she will be at the OBGYN this Thursday if anyone wants to challenge her for the gold. It'll be interesting to see whether WWE will pull a title switch at the gynecologist. Time will tell whether Maria is able to hang on to the gold this Thursday, but if we've learned one thing about the 24/7 title, it's that her reign probably won't be long. There was a time when wrestlers would play their characters both on and off the screen, but thanks to social media like Facebook and Twitter, that seems to be a thing of the past. This week, former WWE superstar Lance Storm ignited a conversation with the internet wrestling community about whether superstars should use their real names online. The former Intercontinental Champion gave the singer Pink as an example, saying the "Who Knew" singer responds to everyone as her character instead of her real name. Storm's discussion got plenty of people talking, including the New Day's Xavier Woods, who uses the name Austin Creed on his YouTube channel Up Up Down Down instead of the name WWE gave him. Explaining himself, the reigning SmackDown Live Tag Team Champion said it made sense for him to use the Austin Creed brand as he doesn't own the Xavier Woods name, saying, "This means I cannot perform under that name, Xavier Woods, once my career with WWE eventually comes to an end. At some point, Xavier Woods will not be able to shake his hips as well, won't be able to throw pancakes as far, won't be able to get beat up by the giants that he works with, and still be able to walk." Continuing, Woods, or should that be Creed, said how performing on his gaming channel under the Austin Creed name gives him some security in the future, adding, "When the Xavier Woods chapter of my life is done, I want to make sure that the next chapter of my life already had a few pages written. By building Austin Creed at the same time, I've already, hopefully, set myself up to be able to work and pay my bills doing something that I absolutely love outside of wrestling that makes me happy." This is certainly a wise investment by the New Day star, as his YouTube channel has been a huge success, currently hosting 1.9 million subscribers and over 250 million views. Most fans are of the age that they know that there is a difference between the performer and the character, so we can't exactly blame Woods or any superstar wanting to have some insurance that they can carry on being a success after WWE, especially when the risk of an early retirement is always around the corner. Well guys, that's our news for today. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to check out our previous video, 10 huge, shocking WWE 2019 rumors you need to know about. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the bell icon so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.